Welcome to Loup TV. I'm Gene along with Andrew for January 10th. That is a Monday, January 10th. For those tech followers, probably part of your day was looking at the market. We'll briefly talk about that. Also talk about some news from Apple on its annual App Store update and some patents. Stay on here because I think you're going to love what you're going to hear from some recent patent filings from Apple. Also turn to EVs and some production timing related to some of the Model 3 in Germany. And we're going to wrap it up with a little bit of talk with Take-Two making a big acquisition of Zynga. Yes, they're still around, and yes, they did get purchased for almost $13 billion. We'll jump back to the top of what I think largely part of the day was just kind of getting whipped around with the market, opened up down, the NASDAQ down, called 2.5%, rallied during the day. Just one thought is, I still don't think that the market has got its proper medication for whatever the rate hikes. Goldman Sachs out this morning talking about going from 3 previously expected hikes in 2022 to now 4 hikes. Whatever the number is, I just hope that at the Fed meeting next at the end of the month that they come out with a strong hand and just comfort investors. It's not about the absolute number. It's not about the number of raises in my view. It's just about setting the expectations that the Fed's got things under control. Speaking of under control, out of control is likely going to happen on Wednesday when the inflation numbers come out. If you're new to Loup TV, you're probably totally misled because we are not market specialists. We're tech specialists. And one of those companies that we've been following for a long time, Apple, some news today, like they do every first kind of part of the new year. They put a press release out where they outline some metrics related to the App Store. And they were quite crafty, I would say, in terms of some of the items that they included and didn't include, which made it a little bit difficult to actually draw some straight lines about what the actual growth is. I think one piece that was pretty clear is that revenue paid to developers was up 33% year over year. I don't have that metric, what the growth was in the previous year, because again, they're kind of changing some of the metrics up. My guess is it was less than 33%. I suspect that it accelerated in part because of some of the changes to the App Store policies made this year. I think that had an impact on what was paid to developers. But either way, even when you factor in those changes, you're still looking at 20% plus kind of growth. And we're talking about services and App Store revenue growing at 15% plus. So that is an encouraging data point about the strength of it. And I think more important, just all the talk about the strength of the App Store and the relationship with developers. I mean, developers are doing exceptionally well building on iOS and Mac. And I think that the numbers today are testimony. They did also, by the way, have a metric about 700 and exact numbers escaping me. We'll call it 765 million subscriptions. That is a similar number that they talked about when they reported their September quarter in their prepared remarks on their call. So for point of reference, I believe that Amazon has probably about 220 million Prime users globally, so we're talking about a 3.5x kind of size difference between Amazon and Apple in that case. Andrew, thanks for being patient. I've been going a million miles an hour and buried the lead on the patent side. Over to you.
Well, yeah, let's look at a new design patent that Apple won recently. The design patent dates back to 2020, and it's for a vehicle door hinge. So it's our first look really at what the Apple car could look like. And the hinge mechanism itself suggests doors that are like the Falcon style doors of the Tesla Model X, which also suggests that the door is so heavy, it can't operate properly on a vertical hinge like a normal door. Instead, they're creating a larger, heavier door that could be an opening for a space that goes into multiple rows of seats. Could be a door that doesn't have, or a car that doesn't have a front or a back. There's some fun places we could go with this, but the design patent is getting people excited about the Apple Car again, and work that Apple has been doing for several years on this car with this futuristic, or at least unique style of door.
Worth mentioning that what Apple works on doesn't necessarily see the light of day, and we're far away from a car actually coming out. And when you mentioned this today, I felt like my first reaction was, I thought that there was some hit and miss when people's reaction to a Model X and kind of its door design. But and then I started thinking more about it and thought, kind of Apple, this is very Apple-like. Let's just break the paradigm. When you think about typically how you get into a car, a door and the size of a door, why not just totally rethink it and have a whole side of a car that opens up? Is that kind of the right way to interpret this?
Well, I think one thing Apple consistently does, even when they enter a product category that already exists, is they reinvent it in some way. We talked recently about how the iPhone, everybody knew it was coming, and yet still it surprised everybody with features and capabilities and underlying technologies that people hadn't yet envisioned. I think they do the same with the car, and whether or not it has classic vertical hinge style doors or some kind of Falcon style door that lifts up from the bottom, Apple's going to surprise folks and excite people if and when they enter the car market. I do think that while the Model X design has not been a win for Tesla, first of all, I think part of it's the price point, and part of it is the design of the car. The door style has been a big win, so I don't see it as a miss from Apple. No.
You mentioned that, if and when Apple comes out with a car, they better get going here, because Tesla is just running the table. I don't know.
On fire.
Yeah, I don't know what run the table. That's probably some vaguest term there. They're doing it right, as evidenced by, just shifting gears a little bit here, it sounds like Model 3 now, if you're going to order Model 3 in Germany, you have to wait till May. It's still March. Model 3 deliveries for US and UK, just a couple spot checks, but those keep getting pushed out. Surprisingly, Model Y in Germany you can get in February, and Model Y in the US, it's like summertime frame. Might even be as late as September. And so there's, I think, a lot moving on there. I think what is safe to say is Tesla just seems to be in this happy place around the lead times, the length of the lead times. It's far enough out that it shows that they've got great demand out there, but still close enough where if you put an order in, you feel like you're gonna actually see it. Where you compare to like Rivian or Lucid, you're gonna have to wait more than into 2023. So
it's like you're crowdfunding a car.
Yeah, but well said. We'll wrap it up with something that is I have very little experience with, which is Zynga Games. Take-Two, which is an investment at Loup, acquired, as I mentioned, Zynga. What's going on there?
Yeah, so Take-Two announced earlier today that they intend to acquire Zynga. The stock is down largely because this is a dilutive acquisition on a down market day, and investors don't want to hear about casual games from Take-Two. They want to hear about Grand Theft Auto 6. I think as we've talked through this today as a team, we continue to like Take-Two, even with the addition of Zynga. What people are misunderstanding is how big the mobile opportunity is, even for tier one publishers like a Take-Two. This will bring Take-Two's net bookings from about 10% mobile to 50% mobile. A few important outcomes for the company also include
what revenue was? What was Zynga's revenue in the last 12 months?
Don't know.
I'm going to look that up.
The few important outcomes from this acquisition would include the fact that Take-Two can now recreate mobile versions of GTA and NBA 2K. They have existing versions, but they're not great. And I think this gives Take-Two the talent that they need to design great mobile games. Next is they've got talent that gives them the opportunity to explore new business models like free to play that they haven't been good at thus far. And the third thing is, I think Zynga brings with them all new customers and new geographies and new demographics for them to sell existing IP into those new customer bases. So we like it. As we digest it, we'll probably unpack it more here on Loop TV. So for now, that is the breakdown of the Take-Two acquisition of Zynga. You're muted.
And at first I didn't like it. They got a good education from Steve from our team, just because Take-Two is a big tier one game developer doesn't mean that they can be successful on mobile games. It is a different muscle.
Right.
It's different mechanics of the monetization, and I can understand why they would want to pay 4 times revenue for that. So makes sense to me after I've had a chance to digest it a little bit. Thanks for framing it in, and thanks for joining Andrew, Loup TV, and getting us smart on those patents. I've learned a lot about Doris today. On behalf of Andrew, Gene, and Loup TV, bye for now.